Hi, my name is Jack Flynn, and for my service learning project, I volunteered at Southeast Community College, adult basic education. And what I did there was essentially the role of a teacher's aide. I answered students' questions, and I just really helped them to conceptualize topics. And the students I was working with were adults working towards their GEDs or their American citizenship tests. And the interpersonal skills I relied on the most during this were my communication, empathy, and patience. Communication, the obvious one, because I was answering the students' questions, and so in doing that, I was having to listen to what they were asking me, and then communicate the answer most effectively that I can do, And another big one was empathy, because a lot of these students, there's a reason that they haven't pursued a higher education, and that's because, they've had a lot of struggle in their lives. And so it was really important for me to just be cognizant of that and, understand that maybe they're just having a bad day or a bad week. And a good example of this would be one of the students was telling me how she grew up and spent the majority of her life in essentially an internment camp in Thailand. And so that's crazy. And so it was just really important for me to just understand what she's been through so I can, be respectful of that. And the final big one that I used was patience, because the material that we were going over wasn't necessarily difficult for me. And so if I would have let that shown, I feel like that would have been really discouraging to the students. And so I really tried to be patient and supportive with them in order to make them help them to understand the content the best that they can. And going into this experience, I really wanted to work on my communication, patience, and leadership. And so obviously, like I said before, I did end up improving or working with my communication skills quite a bit just by answering their questions, along with patience as well, again, just by answering their questions. Leadership, unfortunately, wasn't really worked on because I wasn't really put in a position to be a leader. Given that I was like the youngest in the classroom, a lot of the adults didn't really take me as seriously. And it was also just a really small classroom, and so there wasn't really need for like a leader or somebody in a leadership position. And for all the times that there was a need for that, the actual teacher took over. So I think that I contributed quite a bit to this organization, but I'd say the two things that I really contributed were a lot of help in math, because given that I'm an engineer, that's my strong suit, so I really helped a lot of students in that area. And another big thing that I did was just listening to the students' problems, because like I mentioned before, there's a lot of struggle going on in these people's lives. And so it's just important I think it's important that to get that out sometimes, so you can better focus on the classwork that's in front of you. And so I really just tried to listen to their struggles so that they can just be more effective students in the classroom. And overall, I think I did a pretty good job. I think I did a really good job answering the students' questions thoroughly and really making sure they understood what they were learning before we moved on to higher level concepts. And I think I did a really good job being supportive with the students. Again, just ties in with the patience. But one area that could have been improved upon was my outgoingness, because oftentimes a lot of the students would approach me and ask me questions when I could have done a better job going up to them and seeing how they're doing. While this wasn't really that big of an issue, it definitely could have been, improved upon. But overall, I think this was a really beneficial experience for me. I really learned a lot about my communication skills and patience skills in the classroom, as well as just learning a lot about these students' lives and what they've had to go through. And I'm really happy with the 20 hours I put in at Southeast Community College, and just really happy with the impact I made there. Thank you.